do I know better? Yes. Am I gonna do it anyway because I think it will be entertaining? Yeah. Hello, folks. Phil Gallagher, aka ThrabenU, here for another cEDH video. This is going to be a first for the channel, actually. Magic Online recently added competitive EDH leagues, and previously EDH content was kind of a pain in the butt to make on Magic Online because you would need to line up with 3 other content creators or people who wanted to play in order to record your matches, and I was just not there for that. And now there's actually going to be a relatively easy way to try this out. And because I'm going to record a podcast episode tomorrow, kind of talking about cEDH on the platform, amongst many other things, I wanted to actually get in there and try a league out and see what it's going to feel like. I think that Magic Online cEDH is going to be very weird, and there's a couple of reasons for that. A huge thing is that the format is full of infinite combos, where a lot of times you present a loop to your opponents to do something like make Dockside Extortionist enter the battlefield infinite times and thus generate infinite mana, or you might do something with a Kinnin loop where you repeatedly activate Kinnin and go through your entire deck, and you have to make infinite mana along the way. And it would require an ungodly number of clicks. So I think the platform is maybe not optimized for cEDH gameplay, but I want to get in there and see an opinion from actual gameplay to see how things feel. There's another big problem, and that's the fact that a bunch of cards randomly aren't on Magic Online because they are from strange supplementary products. So Rug of Smothering is something that should be in my deck list for today. And the same is also true of Strength Testing Hammer, but because these are from strange and unusual sets, they just kind of slipped through the cracks and never made it to Magic Online. So we're going to be playing a deck that is maybe slightly suboptimal, but we're doing that anyway. The whole reason that I'm choosing SLICER today, and I'm going to be real with you, is because I think that this is a deck that I can F6 with a lot of the time. I don't have to hold up interaction, because I think the priority passes are going to be kind of insane for this format. Let's take a quick look at the deck list. And this might be a time where you want to just head over to moxfield.com if you really want to kind of dig into the deck list, because there's not really a good way to quickly do a 100 card deck tech. The most important thing is that you understand the commander here, which is SLICER. So on the front side here, it is a 3/4 double strike haste. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may have that player gain control of SLICER until end of turn. If you do, untap it, goad it, means it has to attack and it can't attack you, and it can't be sacrificed this turn. If you don't, you convert it. The backside is a 3/2 first strike haster. When it deals combat damage to a player, convert it at the end of combat. So for 3 mana, you can cast this for the convert side. First strike, haste, get in there, turn it into the 3/4, and then passing the 3/4 around the table to kind of quickly kill your opponent. And although everyone is starting at 40 life, if you take 21 points of commander damage from a single commander, you do just die. And when you have 4 attack steps per turn cycle, that really speeds up a game. So generally speaking, we are going to play a lot of stacks pieces that you will probably just be familiar with from Legacy. And these stacks pieces are going to buy us the time that we need for SLICER to go and obliterate our opponents. We're going to be looking to kind of shut off lands, and otherwise a lot of the stuff that's in here is going to be various forms of mana acceleration, or maybe something that allows SLICER to pick up an extra ability of some kind to make it actually harder to kill. Whether that is something like Shroud from Whisper Silk Cloak or Lightning Greaves, or maybe you will pick up, I think this one has Menace on it, so it is harder to block. So yeah, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know what I don't know about making content for this format. This is an experiment. Please don't submit cEDH donation deck lists immediately. I kind of want to see how this feels, and you can reach out to me, via emails or via the Discord server or whatever if you want to talk about this content more. Feedback, very, very, very much appreciated on this video. And if you find you like the format and you want to pick up some cards, TOAmagic.com is the place to go, and you can use promo code ThrabenU to save 5% on your order. And I can tell you that I have actually bought a SLICER from them in particular. Kind of funny. With that being said, let's battle. I believe these leagues are 3 rounds. Okay, so it looks like we have Niv Mizzet Perrin, a Tali Primal Storm, a Timna the Weaver, Prom Ludwig's Opus deck, sometimes known as Blue Farm, and then me on SLICER. Blood Baron up here is first. This actually doesn't make colored mana, right? So despite having Dockside, this does not make colored mana for the Dockside. Like, this can cast SLICER on turn 2, but I don't know that this is good, and I get a free mulligan. I'll take that free mulligan. So Gemstone Caverns is something that can just start in play. I can play turn 1 Ragavan, attack someone, turn 2 SLICER or Trinisphere, the other presumably the following turn. This is, I guess, fine. All right, so we've had a couple of mulligans up here. 5 cards, 6 cards. I get to start with Gemstone Caverns in play. I'm going to get rid of a colorless card in my hand because I do have Pyrokinesis as interaction. All right, we've got Ancient Tomb into Arcane Signet. That's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and F6 this initial turn cycle. I don't imagine that I will need to Pyrokinesis anything that desperately. That is a stronger start than my Gemstone into Ragavan innately. Mountain into a Tutor. Oh, I see. I'm going to have to F6 every turn individually. That makes sense. My opponent has discarded Mana Crypt, which I think there's a pretty good chance that is what they just gambled for. So we've got a Watery Grave, which is not going to be uncommon in this format. The lag is very real here. That's okay, but this is kind of a red-heavy pod. So it is a little worse than normal. If I want to dash this, higher chance of actually getting the treasure at the cost of having to recast it later. Yeah, I think I do want to just dash. Let's attack the other red player here. Let's see what I exile. Here? What on earth did I just exile? Revealed? Not revealed, not exiled, not effects. I will assume that it is nothing then. Oh, it must have been in my effects zone. Okay, it was Ugin the Spirit Dragon. I was not casting that. Saga's fine. I'm not really interested in Pyrokinesis on Ragavan. For sure. Oh, now I get to... just Thassa's Oracle was just taken out of the deck. That's very funny. This is a primary win condition for that deck. Trinket Mage is fine. This is presumably some other mana acceleration. Oh, it's going for a Grafdigger's Cage. I am good with that happening. That potentially stops Underworld Breach-based lines. And note that this is from graveyards and libraries. Exile is still fine for something like Ragavan. All right, there's a mountain from our Warlock friend over here. And pass. So it seems like they kept their hand under like Gamble and Mana Crypt actually happening, and then they had the 1 in 6 chance or whatever of discarding it. Rough. So as this game goes on, this deck will be more and more controlling. Lotho's good. I might want to think about removing Lotho and Ragavan. I can get Trinket Mage as a casualty too. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then start slicing. Yeah, I'm into this. So 1, 1, 1, 2. Done. I'll pitch the Volcanic Fallout. Let's clear the way. All right, that resolved. I could start slicing. Magus of the Moon destroys this, turns this into 1 mana producer, and gets rid of both of these lands. I think I am into just being a bully here. Okay, nice. It resolved. And I am okay finishing the turn off with Ragavan. So Blood Baron over here still has an Arcane Signet and a treasure token. Dana is probably out of the game. And it is unclear how good Warlock's hand is without that mana crypt. Nice, nice. So this commander does require triple blue pips, which is rough through Magus of the Moon. Nice, the classic tapping and untapping of the lands as Magus of the Moon does Magus things. I don't think my deck's very good, but this is quite fun for me. Alright, one of my opponents literally has just conceded the game and has given up, which innately just makes my deck fucking worse, because there's one fewer attack step for Slicer to do Slicer things, so that kind of sucks. Pyrostatic Pillar is cool. I think I just start slicing, though. Converted for 3 mana? We'll go to attackers. Then that there. Then that there. Then that there. Dead. Sure. Yes, I will return it to the command zone. It's gotta be 5 mana to get back, which is like not the best right now. Ragavan will do Ragavan things, hopefully. Effects zone? Okay, it's over here. Trick Bind. I will not be casting Trick Bind. Oh, that's the other side of Valakut Awakening. Yeah, sure. Notably, it enters untapped because of the Magus of the Moon. A Pyroclasm. Sure, this is more red removal than I would expect from the average game. My opponent's Ancient Tomb, very notably, is not going to help them cast their commander. Next land drop. Oh, we're going. Bonehorde Dracosaur. Beginning of your upkeep, exile top 2 cards of your library. You can play them this turn. If you exile a land card, make a dinosaur. If you exile a non-land, create a treasure. Got it. How am I winning from here? It probably involves casting Slicer. I think I'm going to go ahead and Trinisphere. Sort of interestingly, no one has said anything in the chat yet. And if the Atali player had made it known that, like, hey, I can answer this Magus of the Moon with Dead Gone, maybe the blue farm player does not have to concede. Desperate Ritual and Ruby Medallion. Those are some hits. I guess they are made worse by my Trinisphere. Alright, I'm gonna get bonked by the dinosaur. I think I'm pretty clearly in the worst position in this game now. Like, Niv Mizzet can go infinite with the Curiosity style things, and my deck is... Fuck 'em. Oh, counterspell? Red, white, blue, Swan Song. Oh, I see. It's the 3 mana for the Trinisphere. Oh god, that Ruination would have been gross. Oh, Naginata. Rio and Trample. Need another mana. Is Atali cast or ETB? It's attacks, sure. Oh, this is not the green-red one. This is the mono-red one. I had them mentally mixed up. Let's Torpor Orb here. Potentially shut off a Dockside over here. That could accelerate. I think we both might be dead to the Warlock, though. Like, the 5/5 spread across 2 players that is also potentially making more dinosaurs, right? What are they? 3/1s? It's good. Alright, so Niv Mizzet is now here, which is a fair amount of card advantage. The whole blocking situation is getting worse for Slicer. Oh my god, Wildfire too? That's another destroy all lands, right? Effectively. F. Okay. Maybe I should be playing Atali. Seems like my opponent is having fun. Wildfire plus my Trinisphere, question mark, question mark, question mark. Alright, so the Dracosaur is coming in this way. This card's pretty good right now. I could see a block being reasonable to disincentivize the casting of Wildfire. Okay, it is the Dynamo instead. I don't know, maybe the Wildfire doesn't do enough if they still get to just keep blue land plus Signet and then one land gets them to Curiosity. Each opponent sacrifices an artifact. For each artifact sacrificed this way, you create a treasure token. This is maybe the point where I have to start thinking about communicating with my opponent. I think I'm gonna keep the Trinisphere and my treasure though. Lightning Greaves? Okay. Wait, can I still do the backside of this without playing the commander tax? Also, can I gamble for anything that stops a Tali? Maybe not a thing that I can actively cast. Maybe I'm just wrong. Can I just do this? No, it does still cost 5. Maybe we are gambling. Oh god, it costs 3. Disgusting. I might just be gambling for a land so that I can actual Slicer next turn. I don't know how to beat the giant dinosaur. This also lets this player draw a card, which hopefully I feed them into a thing. Alright. Thing happens. Just like a Cavern of Souls or something. Straight to the graveyard. Straight to the graveyard. Twice in the game, Gamble has betrayed us. Fellow Red Mage. No good. Niv Mizzet pinging stuff gets to start happening. This is scary. Don't have a lot of agency in this game right now. F. Okay. So Curiosity is now on Niv Mizzet. So life's bad. So I get attacked here. Curiosity triggers. My opponent draws a card. And my opponent can deal 1 damage to someone. And this then triggers Curiosity, which deals 1 damage to someone. And I'm going to go ahead and I am trying to say GG in chat. It is not working. Weird. Anyway, I'm gonna concede. I am dead. Oh, something very weird just happened. I'm trying to concede. Okay, there we go. We have a clear winner to the match. There was a weird unbounded loop detection notification. Today's video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, and honestly, they're just the best at what they do. If you need to keep your deck lists online, this is the way to do it. They have all sorts of different viewing options. You can condense that text if you like things to be tight. You can make them visual grids. You can put them in stacks. You've got all sorts of different ways to kind of view and visualize your deck lists, and they also have some really cool functionality, like allowing you to see playtest hands and even fully playtest your decks. So check them out. So I guess this is going to be an unfortunate thing about these leagues. Like, this is 2 of the same players that I just saw last time around. I have no mana acceleration here. I am not interested in this hand. The second one also has no mana acceleration. I will mulligan this one as well. So this is now my 6-card hand. This produces Slicer on turn 1. Keep a Reno. I've never actually seen this card in action in cEDH. I'm going to just assume that it creates infinite mana somehow and then bashes with the commander. So the Grim Monolith doesn't really do anything with my current hand, but if Slicer gets answered, it's kind of important. So I'm probably going to keep that. I think I'm just going to get rid of the Volcanic Fallout. A Gemstone over here for additional starting mana. Let's see what Lord Beerus has. Soul Ring, confirmed good card. But we will have a powerful start of our own. Go ahead and cast the backside of Slicer. We'll go to Punchies. I'm going to hit the first position Soul Ring player here. Beep, beep. All right, so we get to convert into the big side. And we pass Slicer around the board here. And then on my next turn, I can either equip the Beamtown Beat Stick to get more immediate damage and some evasion, or I can play Kedis to spread the damage out more. That's a ritual into a talisman. Go Punchy. All right, fantastic. So this red here is the commander damage. Alright, Saga. So the slicer damage is going to get spread out, but that 21 is kind of a big deal. And now you get a slicer. Everyone has fun with the combat damage step. Is it 1 to equip this? It's 2 to equip this. Okay. Oracle of Moldiah for additional land drops. This is probably the first time I've ever seen that in cEDH. Hey, and there is an additional land drop. Slicer gonna slice. So this is 12 commander damage already. It's turn 2. Alright. Mana Crypt, baby. Tails never fails. Except for when it does. War Room is kind of whatever. We're always going mountain. I could use the Grim Monolith to accelerate into both of my plays this turn. I think I'm into it. Yeah. Alright, now we'll go 3, 4. Kedis. Play the beat stick. Equip the beat stick. Go to combat. I think I'm going to hit Warlock. They have not been hit yet. Alright, so the combat damage goes through. And then we're going to get these triggers. So I'm going to end up making treasure tokens and then dealing a bunch of damage to everyone else as well. And we'll repeat. Fantastic. Maybe make that smaller. You all know what the One Ring is. Have a slicer. Alright, we've got a fetch land. Lotho's fine. So this is headed at Warlock. That'll be 16 points of commander damage. Now, I get this treasure. Oh, right. Kedis is I control, so I only get the additional damage on my own turn, just FYI. Is not a commander you own. The Menace here is notably quite good. This is 3 points of life, and every point of life is probably pretty valuable this game. Ooh. This is going to be 20 points of commander damage. And I'll pick up 2 treasures. Leaving them at 9. So we'll send Slicer over. If they play the One Ring this turn, they can get a Slicer Fog. Or they could hold that Slicer Fog off for a little while. They're not being threatened with lethal damage yet. Oracle plus Surveil Lands is kind of cool. Prismatic Vista. Oh, the One Ring. It just jumped around screen. Got it. Then we've got a fetch to clear the top of library. Supreme Verdict? I don't like that. So they have that in hand. Probably can't play it this turn. Next turn is probably fair game, though. Straight up Cultivate in cEDH. Wild. Treasure Cruise on top. Got it. Feels like someone's dead here. The Menace is good. Alright. That is an illegal block, Menace. So I believe I am only going to get 1 treasure here because the second damage instance does not happen due to the player being eliminated from the game for commander damage. Tails never fails. Told you. Arcane Signet's kind of whatever. My opponent has this opponent has protection from everything. So let's go 1, 2, 3. I will go ahead and just draw a card here. Mishra's Workshop. Yeah, it's kind of whatever. So I will send this at Warlock. Hopefully killing them via combat damage. Dead, sure. They live to see another turn. If I play this, it just eats Supreme Verdict. I think I'm going to hold it in hand and hope that that doesn't come back to bite me. Hello? Got weird lag. Okay, it went through. We'll call that good. So Urza Saga can represent Jeweled Lotus, 3 mana, 6 mana. That can be Atali. All right, looks like it is Soul Ring rather than just Jeweled Lotus. Soul Ring makes more sense if they have a land drop. Sensei's Divining Top, sure. You'll take a peek. All right, Rite of Flame for more mana. Yeah, that's fine. I will sacrifice a treasure. I'll keep the Grim Monolith around. My opponent lost a real card. Does this do anything special? Oh, it's just the same thing again. Sure. This time around, I think I'm fine sacking the Grim Monolith. That's just getting rid of the one ring over there. There's still some treasure left over here that could represent instant speed interaction of some kind. Actual factual time warp. So they can draw that immediately with the treasure cruise that we already knew about. AVP on top now. Which used to see a lot of play in Legacy, but not so much anymore. Swing your Oracle. Yeah, it's coming in. For sure. Okay. So, are we just going to attempt to regrowth the time warp and go again? I find it kind of interesting that the attack went at Warlock and not at me. Yeah, sure. That can get the regrowth. So I can see a counter spell right now. That'll be under a couple of cards when this brainstorm resolves. An exploration on top. Sure. This is all fine. I am planning on just killing this opponent with SLICER if they don't, like, Force of Will me or something. They don't have that many cards. Wait, what is this 3 with a portal? Oh, that's their graveyard. Okay, so this is cards in hand. All right, got it. Tails never fails. Told you. What is this? As long as it's legendary, it gets even bigger. Okay, got it. You are an artifact. I can use this to cast SLICER. So 5 mana, SLICER Hired Muscle, cast. Yeah. I would like to go ahead, equip this here. 1, 2. Actually, maybe not. Let's not tap that land, just in case things get a little weird. So I'll play the Maul. I'll equip it with War Room after this. Yeah. So this is just 14 damage. I can kill either opponent here. I think I'm more scared of this killing me. Attack Lord Beerus. I'll send 1 point here as well. Something is happening. Thunderclap. Okay. That will kill this, fogging a very large amount of damage. So I'm going to get my treasure token from the first hit, and the second hit is still 7 damage. So that will eliminate this player, and then the next SLICER hit will kill Warlock. This is optional if you don't convert it. I don't want to convert it. I want it back. Or what is the thing for goad? So I guess if I give it to them, they have to attack me, so I won't, since the other players are dead. This will shrink this creature. It'll become a creature again on my turn. I can re-equip it with the stuff. Yeah, we have gotten the GG from our opponent. So we put our first commander win for the channel on board. All right, well, one thing that I don't like about this is that there are so few people in the queues that we just keep running into the same players. All right, when ETBs or attacks, Virtuous Roll token, or enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Okay, so what? This is probably like stacks with this is spiraling damage. And I'll assume that this is a combo deck. I have 1 mana. We are mulliganing. I mean, this just SLICERs on turn 1. So, we're good with that. I could also mana vault into Damping Sphere to just kind of immediately shut things down, or I could just play Damping Sphere on turn 2. All right, looks like we've got 2 players on 6-card hands here. There's no blue in this pod, just full stop, no blue. Spells are resolving. It dies, scry 1, make a treasure token, sure. Beamtown Beat Stick, huh? Seems good. Yeah. Yeah. We are more than meets the eye. I'm going to send this at Warlock. Normally I would send it to the black player because of ad nause. It begins. My second main phase. This is going to produce 3 mana. I think what we're going to do is 3 mana to set up Arcane Signet for the future. And then we'll use that to go ahead and play Damping Sphere afterwards. And that makes any artifact mana that these 2 players have much worse. Obviously, that was a very good turn 1. And we're slicing, folks. Warlock has given us the frowny face. So this doesn't have any form of evasion right now. It has double strike and haste, so they can send in right here and make it so that no one actually takes any commander damage early, which like definitely matters. Oh wow, they are keeping the creature. I'm a little surprised, but I don't know their hand. I don't know what sort of synergies they have with this. Just basic land drop as turn. Don't mind that at all. They're sending again. See if there's a chump block this time. No, just straight up 12 fucking damage. Jewel Lotus is a good spell. Could maybe set up for an Atali next turn. Now, Slicer very noticeably can't be sacrificed this turn, which may be relevant when LO1 actually has a commander, is immediately relevant. This makes sense for like why my opponent would want to keep the freebooter. We're out there slicing. And that's 6 commander. Skull Clamp. There's some sweet pieces developing over there. All right. So they're going to draw some cards. And they top with the Scry. That's an Ornithopter that costs mana. I am not paying for Mana Vault. We will be taking damage from that. So I am at 39 here. I think I want to hide this until next turn. Actually, this is going to be less relevant because I'm going to have more than 3 power. I'm just going to play a mountain then. So we're going to play our beat stick and equip. The menace means that the blockers over here are less of a big deal. I think I'm going to put this player within 1 hit of dying. Maybe I don't. Maybe I spread. Spreading and keeping players around for longer allows me to just deal more slicer-based damage. So for example, if I attack this player and then they attack this player and this player dies, this player doesn't have a combat step to attack either one of these two. And I will make my 2 treasures. Straight up triple green for something. Huh. So this is going to give my Slicer trampled, right? Because modified is equipment as well. My opponent can get some basic lands. All right. Who's getting bonked here? LO1 is getting bonked. So we get a second set of these triggers. And then we'll go ahead and continue to pass this around the table. There is 20 commander damage over here. Is this haste? Yeah. This beat stick card fucking slaps. This will be 8 over here. And again, I will get my 2 treasures. 14 commander damage. Yeah, you can have a Slicer. It's a gift. Whip it with Skull Clamp. Make it hit harder. Alright, Mana Crypt loses the flipped there, so 17. Oh. So that's going over here. That is going to be lethal commander damage. That is an illegal block. So first one of these happens, I will get both treasure tokens this time because the first hit isn't lethal. And that is death. So this is 8. I can put Warlock to 19. Warlock kills LO1, and then Warlock and I are in a 1v1 scenario. Where as long as I can beat just like the generic 6/6 dinosaur body, which I think with double strike and menace I probably can, I should be good. The Damping Sphere is probably annoying here for both opponents. Reassembling Skeleton in cEDH? Wild. Skull Clamp goes on Ornithopter. Okay, this is a second body, though. Like, that is legitimately good. I'm not untapping this. I'll take my 1. Red Elemental Blast. Not exactly the premium draw right now. So I can hit Warlock for 8. Force the attack here. Force double blocks. Exile the skeleton if I feel like that's a thing that I want to do. Then LO1 attacks here. Then I attack there. That seems fine. Send it. Destroying the target artifact. Got it. Well, that's happening. Yes, I will return it to the command zone. Yeah, I'll just recast this for 7. 5. I'm still casting this for 7. I'm just gonna leave up Scavenger Grounds, I think. I don't know, maybe I need these treasures for if SLICER is just answered. I'm gonna pivot and equip. Oh no, I make more treasure. Or no, I'm not gonna make more treasures this turn. It's fine. Hopefully I don't die for tapping Scavenger Ground. I've never played against a competitive Yawgmoth deck, so I don't know. It's like treasures to recast SLICER yet again versus leaving up something defensively. Alright, there's a Felwar Stone after a relatively long tank. So there's the double block. And they can return Reassembling Skeleton. Yeah, that's fine. So I imagine my Damping Sphere is annoying. Yes. I imagine their Mana Crypt is not really a concern. Like, the concern is the literal 20 commander damage. Vamp Tutor. Woohoo. That certainly can get something that answers SLICER. Their big issue is probably that, like, as a mono black deck, they maybe can't remove this Damping Sphere at all. Alright, 15 life. There's another land. SLICER's getting in there. I do produce some new treasures. And that's 19 and 20 commander damage, respectively. So there's a Skull Clamp on SLICER. Sneaky little access tunnel in my hand may end up becoming relevant. Alright, it is Yawgmoth. Alright, and it is my turn. This is 2 bodies for the purposes of SLICER. I'm fine taking damage here. Name Sticker Goblin doesn't do a ton right or does it? Can I get... I can't get... So SLICER will be a 4-power creature even if I take Skull Clamp off of it. I have 3 toughness, but I do have double strike, so that's not relevant. Trying to decide if I want to turn this into a 1v1. I think I'm just going to attack here. Alright, my opponent has conceded from the game. So I will make my land drop. I don't think I need to play a Name Sticker Goblin for any reason. I think I'll just hold that. So now I don't give this opponent control of this. So it turns back into the vehicle. So the plan is make my 3-power creature unblockable and then just get in for the final points of damage. We have a gamble from my opponent. Presumably to find some sort of spot removal spell for my SLICER. The Dockside could force me to discard or sacrifice a bunch of treasures as well. Ooh, Pyrokinesis feels like something that my opponent could have gambled for. Rough. Just... that is the concession. And so this was 50 play points to enter, and so for 2 wins, I end up with 90 play points and a treasure chest. Well, we bodied people with SLICER, that's for sure. Both of the games where we cast SLICER on turn 1 went really well. Fucking weird, right? Just quirky. This is a deck that did not have a lot of interaction, which was exactly what I was looking for a first attempt at playing a cEDH league. I wanted to be able to just kind of F6 turns and not have to care about priority very much. And it accomplished its goal. It's very possible that just like playing Atali is better. Was it Warlock something? Their deck list looked pretty reasonable. I did kind of draw the same side of the deck a couple of times with like the Beamtown Beatstick doing serious work on SLICER, but I'm not really complaining in that capacity. That was a decent amount of fun. Wait time was a little long for games in some cases. In my last round, I waited for like 12 minutes or something like that before I got paired. But I imagine that's a problem that will go away as more people are playing leagues and like the platform picks up a little bit in that capacity. So yeah, let me know what you thought in terms of the gameplay. This is very much a feedback is appreciated today. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly, all that stuff. Please let me know. I would very, very much appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. If you develop an interest in cEDH and need some cards, just saying, promo code ThrabenU saves you a little bit on your order. All right, have a great rest of the day. See ya.